What's up, people? This is Bryce, one third of the Biz Podcast, and I'm coming to you with another Uncanny X-Trash review. This time, issue number 3, part 3 what is that? Uncanny X-Men Disassembled, because Disassembled is unique because Marvel hasn't done Disassembled already with another team back in 2000 what 5. So yeah. Once again, recycled storylines. Yay. Okay. So this is different cover than the last one. I kind of like it. Let's just kind of see what's going on with Jean Grey's face. Oh no, wrong thing, guys. Let's see what's going on with Jean Grey's face. What? I don't even understand what's going on with her face right now. That's just what is Pixie looking at? Okay, all right. I mean, at least they made Rocksteady look good, kind of. Bishop. I don't even know what's going on with Legion because I have no idea where Legion has been at in this. I guess they spoiler alert. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. All right, I'm gonna let you guys read it if you guys really want to read it. But I'm here to do the hard part for you, so you don't have to actually do that. Um, this man. Let's take a look. This man right here, Matthew Rosenberg, should be excommunicated from Marvel in X-Men completely. All right. And so this kicks off right right where the other one left off in terms of fighting dinosaurs again. Um, and oh man, let's get to the real cringe moments. Okay, let's get to the real cringe moments right now. So this is Bishop, and he decides, oh, let me blast the dinosaur, and I'm going to say this, this, right? You guys see this? This is not real. If a dinosaur got blasted, he would fall and slide, and then probably eat this man in the process. But comic book logic dictates that no, the dinosaur doesn't. Because what we need is the man to fall, and Bishop goes to help him up and gives him back his God hates mutie sign. And of course, there's this awkwardness between the two where the white man says thanks to the black man who also happens to be a mutie. Yeah, because only white people hate anyone else. Nah, but for real though, there was an actual like whole thing. I want to say I can't even remember what story it was, but I know it wasn't like in a. I think it was like in the Avengers, dealing and some X-Men characters were in it, and they were pretty much on the street, and this black couple, like mutant, like oh no, you know what it was? Haha, I remember now. It was the X-Men Gold book where they popped up and they like kind of the team popped up, saved some people, saved some stopped some villains, of course, and this black couple were like, oh, mutants, we're scared, get away from us. And they were like, oh, but Kitty was like, oh, we're here to help you guys. So you shouldn't be, prejudiced and whatever. And I was like, hey, cool. I'm happy that, at least some black people are prejudiced to mutants too. Because, hey, that is different at least. Um, and then there's this really annoying exchange between Bobby and Bishop. Get yours right. What do you think, Drake? I mean, yeah, okay. Obviously, you got yours. Correct. This is a great talk. And this little smirk on Bishop's face, like it's just it's there's cringe, and then there's just why, like why would you do this? Why are you guys writing like this? Like this stuff is supposed to be serious, right? This is supposed to be. This is why I hate new Iceman, because new Iceman is a joke. He's a freaking joke. He's meant to do nothing but crack jokes and annoy everyone. That's it. Oh yeah, and also be Jean Grey's gay best friend now, because that's all he's written as. Nothing else. Everyone takes him and he's just a jokester. They don't give him any serious moments. They don't really give him, he's not mature at all. And why would I want to read about a grown man who's not mature? Why? Why would I want to read about that? I don't. So this right here, all of this is dumb. I hate Iceman now. He's freaking horrible. But saving grace for this comic, this issue, the saving grace, that was pretty much the last of the real banter. They kept it contained to the first 2 pages, and it was highly clear that another writer, I don't know if it's Kelly Thompson or Ed Brisson, I don't know which one, I don't know their works, so I can't tell their style of writing. I know, oh man, I know Matthew Rosenberg's when I read it, but theirs is this, the rest of the story, at least dialogue wise, was not bad anymore. It wasn't bad like the first 2 issues, because it was less banter and more of them actually discussing what's happening, what they're thinking about, and what's the next move, things like that. It was really discussing what was actually happening in the story, versus we're just bantering and saying random things that have some kind of tangential connection to the story, but it's really just banter and playing off of everything. That very bad Joss Whedon, that very bad imitation Joss Whedon banter, because Joss Whedon actually knows how to do it well, to where you're laughing. You don't realize that they're not really talking about anything important until you stop and really think about, well, what did they actually say? Nothing of importance. Huh. I mean, come on. What line from Avengers do you really remember? Not many, because there's not many memorable, poignant lines, right? But what lines do we remember from The Dark Knight? Oh, lines like, what did Batman say at the very end? Oh, no, not Batman. Gordon told the kid. He's like, where's Batman going? And Gordon's like, he's the hero that the city doesn't want, but the hero that they need, or something like that, right? And then, of course, you get some of the most infamous lines of why so serious? You get, did I ever tell you how I got these scars? Then there's so many infamous lines. And then, of course, my favorite, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. I don't know if that's the exact wording, but that's my most favorite. That's my favorite line, right? And those are lines that they have weight. They mean something to the story, but they go beyond the story, right? They go beyond just the context of the story, and they invade our minds because they make us think about real world consequences and real world, decisions and actions and real world meaning. A line like this is 2018, and a line that was written in 2006, 5, 6, or 7, depending on when the movie was written and the line was written, but we found out about it in 2008. So a line from 2008 that says, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain, still resonates with people. People still say that line. People still use that line to describe, this abstract concept of, power and what it does to someone and in the long run, right? And we get that because we feed off of those lines and those concepts in works. That's what makes those works stand the test of time because they matter. They mean something. They're not just dumb fun. And as much as I love the Avengers, that movie is just fun. I mean, even another movie from 2014, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, I still remember the conversation that, Nick Cage and Cap are, having the elevator when Cap is first taken down to see the new helicarriers, right? The new helicarrier weapons ships, and they're talking about, Nick's granddad and how he keeps the gun in the bag because he loves people but he doesn't trust them, and stuff like that, right? That's important. Those things, that kind of thing is very important, and it means something to the rest of to our life in the real world, and it means something to us, and it has meaning. When I read books like this, where everything is just a joke, where there's no depth to it, and I think that's really the main thing that bothers me so much about this book, is that there's no depth. Yes, I will rag on the story because the story is, I am trying to skip. We're going to skip some pages so I don't get the copyright thing. I might have actually shown this entire book. So I'm going to skip like 5 pages so you can get to the second to last page. And oh no. Oh, well, there goes that. At least I skipped like 5 pages still. So don't worry, guys. You have no idea what happens. It's not that hard to figure out, but you have no idea what happens. So, to me, I think that's the biggest problem with this book so far, is that it doesn't mean anything. There's no depth. There's no meaning that we can take and apply to our lives, to our existence. And I'm not saying every story has to have that, because it doesn't. I don't believe every story has to have that. But even the stories that, resonate with us on a deep, all the stories that resonate with us on a deeper level, even the ones that are just kind of dumb fun, have deeper meanings that we can extrapolate from them. So stories like Harry Potter has a deeper meaning that we can take from it. Stories like Star Wars, even let's go to manga stories. Stories like heck, Naruto, My Hero Academia. These are works that you can get an idea of the gravity of these stories and the characters and how much they actually matter to their world, how much what they're doing matters to us, because we take to them and we see that they matter in their world, and that makes it matter to us now. And I know I just repeated myself, but hey, and that really creates stories that we want to read. This is not a story that I want to read, because this is a story that is boring. I mean, I said it before, and I think that's one of the main reasons. The writing this time in this issue is it's not bad anymore. It's not bad. It's not horrid like it was, but it's not good. It's not interesting. It doesn't leave me wanting to just flip to the next page to hurry up and see what's the next line that I'm gonna read. Is it going to shock me? Is it gonna make me think? Is it gonna make me go like, wow, that's crazy? Like, you get care. Oh man. Oh, okay. Let me talk about Psylocke real quick, cause I don't want to make this video as long as the other ones. Let me talk about Psylocke real quick. Psylocke is my favorite character. Favorite character. Period. She's my favorite X-Men. She's my favorite character. Years ago when I was on the superhero hype forums, my avatar was Psylocke, and this is back in like 2010, 2011, 2012, I think at the latest. So like I've been a fan of Psylocke for a long time. It's not just recent. And when I see Psylocke in this book, and they write her with no depth, it hurts. It actually hurts me to have to read what they're doing with her. Especially when you know, at the same time I'm reading this trash, I'm reading a book like Uncanny X-Force, which, once again I've talked about before, but it's because I can't stop talking about how amazingly written that book is. I mean, I'm reading Psylocke with depth, a Psylocke who at one who she's struggling with the fact that she enjoys the revenge that she gets to take on the people that help destroy her life, and she struggles with the fact that she is happy to kill them. Like, that is depth right there. That's some emotional depth that I really would like to see out of a character. I like to see, the smart Psylocke, the one who can say really deep and insightful thoughts and has deep and insightful thoughts, and she can help characters like Warren, who's struggling with himself, and she's struggling with her identity of being a British woman trapped in an Asian woman's body against her will. And now that they just see, it's like they figured, oh, if we bring her back to her British body, we can just kind of do away with all of the characterization that we really gave her before and just kind of make our own thing up as we go now, because hey, this is kind of like a new Psylocke. And it's like, nah, you can't do that. That's not how you write a character. That's not what you do. And when I see that, it hurts. Jean Grey, she's one of my other favorite X-Men characters, and I guess they just destroyed her. They've utterly turned her into a carpet bag. Like, she's nothing anymore. She's nothing except a sounding board for anyone who wants to write propaganda and who believes in, all of these crazy ideals. That's all she is now. It's just their sounding board. And if she's not being their sounding board, then she's just dull. Or she's talking to Bobby once again because, like, he's the gay best friend. Like, oh, I love you the most. Like, those were just the lines that irritated me. But even in this one, it was like, okay, she's giving out leadership. She's taking leadership and she's giving out orders and stuff. But there's like, oh, there's a whole thing. I don't know if it was this issue or the previous issue with Laura, and she's like kind of cracking jokes about like, oh, you guys will have to bet harder on her if you think a dinosaur could take her down or something. Like, it was just like, okay, I guess. Like, I like to see a Jean who is struggling. Like, they brought her back, and she has, at least from what I've seen, she doesn't even struggle with the fact that, she was dead for a long time. Like, that doesn't matter anything to her, or that, she's done a lot of kind of terrible things in her past. And there's nothing really there. Like, I mean, I am afraid of when they bring back Cyclops. I'm afraid. I'm terrified of what they're going to do, because I'm not ready. I'm not ready for them to bring back Cyclops, because he's my second favorite X-Men, and they're going to destroy him. They're going to utterly write him probably even worse than he was written before, and I just don't want to see that. And I know I've rambled on about things that necessarily don't contain to the book, but they kind of do contain to the book, because they're the things that should be in this book that just aren't, because these writers, I don't know if they just don't understand what good storytelling is, or if it's maybe too many cooks in the kitchen, to use a very cliche line. But whatever it is, 3 issues in, and the story is barely picking up. This is a 10-week series, so it's not like they have a lot of time to tell this. They have actually 10 issues to tell one story. Is actually really, if done correctly, you could tell an amazing story. I mean, Watchmen told its story in 12 issues. Granted, they were a little longer. They're about, anywhere from 26 to 30 pages. But still, Watchmen told its story in 12 issues. You can tell an amazing story in 10, but that's not what we're getting. And oh, just real quick, I wanted to go. Let me show you guys this because I already showed you these kind of images. So this, oh, okay. So this is my problem, right? This went from this issue jumped back and forth and back and forth and back and forth constantly, constantly. It Oh man, it was the most annoying thing I had ever seen. It was just jumping back and forth and back and forth. And to me, that's just a sign of one, lazy storytelling, but two, too many, there's no cohesiveness in what they're trying to do. Because they try to set up too many inciting incidents for the story that they were trying to write. So they had, oh, we're gonna set up this and this and this, and then it's gonna all pay off in this. And they didn't really give any time for anything to breathe. Okay, so they went and killed a couple dinosaurs. So what? My thing is they could have easily cut the whole dinosaur aspect out of these last two issues, gave more focus on the team actually trying to figure out what's going on instead of having them sit in a building. Like I'm going back to the last issue. They had them sitting around talking and bantering for like 3 pages, and then they kept going back and forth. And then you have this whole story with the ex babies in the mansion that they're dealing with Legion. Like they could have set that up even more. They could have set that up better. Instead, they kind of just had these side characters being cannon fodder or they're not even cannon fodder. They're just pointless characters who they don't really matter much to the story as of right now. It's just it's poor. It's poorly done. It's poorly written. I think it's missing the mark. I don't think this is going to really, be a story that people are going to talk about years and years and years from now. It's not. It's just another X-Men tale written by some okay writers. And I'm not speaking like I'm the best writer out there because I don't know. I'm barely really getting started in the craft, but I can say that from a craftsman's standpoint, I can see the cracks in the basic foundation of their work. I can see where they haven't even, at least as of right now, 3 issues in. Like I have a rule of anything. Rule of threes, okay? 3 episodes, 3 issues, 3 chapters in a book. If I'm not hooked within those 3, I'm done. Now, I'm going to continue bringing you this stupid comic because I said I was, and I'm not going to back down on this. I'm going to continue shelling out my hard-earned money for garbage, but only this once. After this 10-week series, I'm probably going to check out, and I at least check out buying it. Yeah, sorry. I don't really care. But, I'm going to continue bringing this, but yeah, this is my 3rd issue, and I am not curious where the story is going. I don't care. By the end of it, the four, let me see what they called themselves. Oh man, this was so stupid. They called themselves, come on. Let me see. I'm trying to get to it so I can say. Okay. They are the Horsemen of Life, Wellness, and Bounty, and the Horsemen of Peace. So they're the 4 Horsemen of Apocalypse, but they're good horsemen of life, wellness, bounty, and peace. And in order to carry out their mission of stopping those that create war, they're going to destroy the X-Men. Because horsemen of life, wellness, bounty, and peace are going to commit violence against those who they believe will create war. That is 100% stupid. It's so asinine of a concept. That's like saying I am anti-violence of any form. But in order to stop you from committing violence against another person, I'm going to beat the crap out of you and put you in the hospital in order to stop you from ever committing violence against another person ever again. But you just said you're against violence. Yeah, I am. But I'm going to do what I'm against because it makes no sense. It makes it so that these characters are now hypocritical, just like SJWs. They're hypocritical. They say one thing and then they do another in order to stop it. Like literally, they've just made SJWs. They just made these characters into SJWs because they literally said, "Hey, we're against this, and this because we support this, and this. But in order to stop you from doing something, we're going to do everything we're against." I don't even know what to say about that except this is poor. This is lazy. And, I could get onto and the artwork in this issue, it's not terrible. It's a little bit better. I think it's the same person. I'm not even sure, honestly. But I will say this: the artwork is not terrible. The panel layout is, it's not poor. It's not poor. I can follow it. I can follow it a lot easier than I can follow other stories. But the panel layout is serviceable. I would say that. It's very, very much serviceable for the story. There's nothing special about it. There's nothing unique about it. There's nothing that makes me go, "Oh man, like this is amazing panel layout." Like there's no real page that just popped out to me like, "Holy crap." Like there's just none of that. So, yeah, that's pretty much about it, guys. I will bring issue 4 to you. I know I always say I'm going to bring it at a specific date, but school, work, life really gets in the way sometimes. So I'm going to bring it to you next week. I don't know exactly when. Hopefully I can actually get it done to you in the middle of the week, but if not, I'm going to bring it to you as soon as possible so you guys don't have to actually go out and read this story, because you can just hear me rant about it. I pretty much didn't even tell you guys what the story is about, really, because I didn't really want to spoil it too much. But if you guys, now you're at the end of the video, so if you guys really want to hear a spoiler, I'll let you kind of end the video now in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So pretty much, from what I really can remember, the team comes in, defeats. They defeat the dinosaurs from the last issue. They start fighting the Jamie Maddox clones, and then they defeat the clones by having Psylocke and Jean Grey team up mentally, which is like, all right, it's not terrible. And then they figure out exactly where the Prime Maddox is, and he's like, "Oh, guys, thanks for saving me. Now let's go find Legion because he's the one who did this to me." And he then, because he's, Omega powerful mutant, he made him create clones and then use them by putting his own personalities into the clones. And it's just, it makes I'm not gonna say it makes no sense, but it was just far beyond some thing I would think of. It was just like, all right, I guess this is whatever. So then the X babies are in the mansion, and this, from the last issue, Legion shows up and he's talking to him like, "Hey, I really really want to help you guys," and he's like, "Oh, where's everyone at?" And I don't really want to talk to you guys, and I guess he couldn't hold up the cool man persona anymore because he freaked out, attacked them, and then the horseman popped up, and then he attacked them, kicked them out the house. Then main team shows up. They start trying to fight Legion. Happens. Then next thing you know, the four horsemen show up, and they're just like, all right, we're gonna destroy you guys in order to stop you guys from creating war. And then they blew up the X Mansion, and I was like, so what about the people that are in the X Mansion, like Idy and um, who was the other one? Oh, Anal. What about them two? What about all the kids that are in the X Mansion? Are we just gonna blow them? We just blew them up too, because yeah, horsemen of life, wellness, bounty, and peace just mass murder a bunch of kids. Psh, yeah, because that's what those titles do, huh? Yeah, nah. So that's the story in the nutshell for this stupid issue. It's dumb. It makes it makes no sense. The story still makes no sense. We still don't have any reasoning for why Legion is doing any of this, and they're taking the whole idea of, oh, every comic should have some action in it a little bit too serious. You can tell a story without constantly having action, action, action the whole way through. And they're taking that concept of, oh, comic books should be about fighting and action, and not trying to dive deeper into these characters. There's no deepness in this book, like I've said before. So I'm not gonna keep repeating myself. Thank you guys for listening, and I will come to you with another video soon. All right, bye.